victims were sisters. In Lexington County, the coroner there has now identified the victims as 20-year-old Jaimey Green and 25-year-old Jasmine Green.
Hello, welcome to Unfortunate Victims. I am your host, investigator Chandra Cleveland. Today I have with me Miss Otisha Kardash. Otisha is the mother of Jaimey and Jazzmyne Green. As you know, our community had a hard loss on the day that Jasmine and Jaimey was murdered. As we know, in South Carolina, we have the highest rate of women killed by men in the state. But nationally, did you know there are over 736 million women who have been assaulted by someone they know or murdered by someone who they have had violent incidents with before? Today, we're going to talk about ways that you can know the signs of intimate partner violence, and also how you can help other people. Because during this time, there are a lot of red flags. We just don't know when or where the murder or the assault that could be deadly will occur. So if you're here and you want to get some of the information that we are about to share, I ask that you get pencil and paper, because we have a lot of information to share with you. Like, for instance, did you know that a woman is assaulted in America every 7 seconds? Seconds. I didn't say minutes. Every 7 seconds. So we are going to learn how to look at the red flags, what we can do, and what we can expect when we know someone who's being abused. What you think that it may not be something, or you ask yourself why this person is not leaving, it's more to it than that. There's a lot of ties and bonds that hold that relationship together, regardless of how many times you say you need to leave the relationship. A person will not leave until they're ready to leave. So I'm going to talk about that too. So make sure you have pencil and paper, because if you're in a violent relationship or know someone who is in a violent relationship, I'm going to give you some ways that you can help. But today we're going to hear the story of Jasmine and Jaimey Green from their mother, Otisha Kardash. Otisha, thank you so much for coming on with me today. Again, you have my deepest condolence. And I would like to, after this, I'm not sure if you already have a foundation established for your daughters, because I always take donations when we have victims that have loved ones, such as children, and you who have to take care of those children now. We want to make sure that we can bless you with something.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Jasmine and Jaimey before we get to that horrible day.
They were just exceptional women. Their main objectives in life were to take care of their children. Jasmine had 2 sons. Jaimey has a little girl. And, that's what their life was built around, taking care of the children. I always taught them that, because I have 6 children of my own. Mm-hmm. And I always taught them to lean and depend on each other. We had a lot of love in my family, lots of love. Jaimey, she was just undescribable. She was like the glue that held us together. Anytime anybody in the family had a problem, they went to Jaimey. Jaimey called every day, checked on everybody in the family every day.
Mhm.
She
Was
came-
Jaimey the oldest one or the younger one?
Jaimey was the younger one.
Okay.
She's the younger one. She was only 20 years old. Passed away November the 15th. She would have been 21 on November the 21st. But I always called her little big sister. She always acted like she was the oldest. She always took charge of everything. Jasmine. Jasmine was like the sweetest. She's my oldest. She's like the sweetest thing you ever wanted to meet. She was so sweet. She reminded me of myself. Anything I asked her to do, she did it. Every time she walked in the room just lit up. She was so beautiful. I'm talking about, she was like, when I looked at her, I couldn't believe she was mine because she was so beautiful. Just a sweet person inside and out. Her and Jaimey, really, really close. And I have another daughter, Lateria. All three of them are close. They're my oldest three daughters. And it's just been a big void since they passed. Big, big void.
I can't even imagine. I just know when I heard about it, it was like, Lord Jesus, I fell to my knees and I was just like, Lord, how can this be? How can we allow this to continue to happen? You know, and to lose two in the same family at one time is, and at the hands of domestic violence, it is senseless, it's hurtful, and to not even have closure. But the bigger part is that this happened before their children. Their children was witnesses to this horrible incident.
Right.
So how are the children doing right now?
They're not doing good. They cry and whine for their mamas every night. They talk about them every day. They just miss their mamas. They're only 4 and 3. And my youngest is 1. They don't know what's going on. Only thing that they know is that they're not seeing their moms. But I'm never gonna let them forget about their moms. I show them pictures of them every day. And I tell them that your moms went to heaven. And we're gonna see them again one day. We'll see them again one day.
Yes, and you know, that is the hardest thing, because those children was of age to know that they have a mommy, and them wanting them and not understanding what you're saying, that they're gone. All they can keep doing is thinking, no, I have a mama. I want to see my mom. Oh, Jesus. So as everything was going on, were you able to see any red flags in the relationship that led to this, that you guys talked about, a plan?
I did. I just always just tried to get her to leave him. She had her own apartment, and I would tell her, just come stay here. You and the kids come stay with me, because he knows that when I'm there, he can't even come in the house. Like, it hadn't got so bad. I would call the police if I saw him pull up. I just kept telling her, you don't have to be with anybody just because you have children with them. There's no law written that says you have to be with somebody because y'all have kids together. And I told her to stop going back with him, listening to saying that he's going to change and he's going to do this. And he was just so obsessed with Jasmine. Like, he didn't want her around us. He didn't want her talking to us. I buy the children clothes. He threw them away, said that he didn't need anything for the kids. He hated the way I loved them. He hated our togetherness.
So how many years was Jasmine with him?
He was with him for 5 years.
Oh, wow. So during this time, did he ever abuse her before this infamous day in November?
He would, but not in front of us. And then when we would confront him about it, he'd act like he don't know what's going on. But Jasmine would tell me that he hit her or that he threatened to kill her. He was just always doing something or saying something. But when you asked him about it, he put on this whole different personality. Jasmine doing this, Jasmine doing that. He tricked me. He tricked me.
And what do you mean by he tricked you?
He tricked me. He had me just thinking that he was just talking. And how somebody tells you something, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yes. He told you, I would never lay my hands on your daughter.
Right.
I would never hurt her.
Right.
I love her too much to hurt her.
Right.
Those are the regular cliche things that abusers say all the time. They have this honeymoon time where he looks like he's loving on her, he's giving her gifts and everything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they turn into this rageous bull that is ready to do something.
Right.
So during the time that you would tell Jasmine that she didn't need to be with him, was she listening to you, or she was just torn between two loves that she was trying to please both of you?
She was basically, at the beginning, I think she was torn, but at the end, she was listening to me. At the end, she was listening. I know she was listening because after he killed her, I went to her apartment and packed up her things. And I called the light company because the lights were out. And the light company told me Jasmine had called like a month ago and got the lights turned off, and she wasn't coming back.
Oh. Ooh, Miss Kardash, let me tell you, and everyone who's out there listening, that is the most dangerous time. That is the time that we see that a murder suicide like did happens. Because when that person is truly fed up and they're making a plan to leave and not to return, if that abuser get a hold of to any information that you are making plans to leave them, it can be very deadly. This is why, as an investigator, and I come to help women of domestic violence, I tell them, you can't tell anyone your plan to leave. You cannot tell them when you're getting ready to leave. Because when that action takes place, they know that the bond that you had over them as an abuser is broken. They've had enough, they're fed up with it, and they're leaving. So maybe he got information or word that she was leaving.
He did. He did. She had to move just completely in with me. Her and the kids were there. And she was at peace because the kids would be downstairs with me and I'd be like, where your mama? And they'd be like, she's upstairs asleep. At the end, she slept a lot because she was so tired. She was tired of being harassed and beaten and stalked.
So the house where you were, where she was, her and her sister, that was your house?
Yes, ma'am. They were murdered in my home.
Oh my gosh. So, anyone who's listening, you must know when the abuser know that you have had enough and you're getting ready to leave, you can't tell anyone who knows him. Because the main thing people try to do in relationships, they try to say, it's not that bad. Go ahead and stay. He's taking care of the kids. He's paying for this or he's paying for that. No, you cannot tell small-minded people who are not being abused what is going on in your next move in your abusive relationship, because they will never understand.
Right.
And I say they will never understand because they're not in that relationship.
Right.
So this is why it is so hard for women to leave a relationship. It's because they're getting advice from people who have never been in the struggle.
Right. Right. You're right.
Oh my God. But most violence against women is perpetrated by a current or former husband or intimate partner. More than 640 million women between the age of 15 and older have been subject to intimate partner violence. Those numbers are huge. They're very big. And sometimes they're that big because family members of a mother of someone else within the family has dealt with domestic violence before, and they try to tell you to stay. It's going to get better. Miss Kardash, was anyone else in your family have ever been a victim of domestic violence?
Yes, they have. I have a family full of women, and there's been domestic violence to my family as I was growing up.
You know, I tell people, the children of Jasmine and Jaimey right now, they seem very little, and it's like they don't understand what's going on. But as they grow up, they will hear people in the family talking about what happened to them. The best thing that you can do between now and then is to get them counseling. And I know right now counselors are so in need that counseling businesses are at their capacity. They cannot take any more people in. I have a victim who's waiting right now, who've been waiting to get in to see a counselor for almost 3 months. So, I mean, I know you have family and friends that have gathered around you, but to pour into love to these kids and to let them know how much they were loved, and that hurting and hitting and yelling is not tolerated, because they're going to have some hard years ahead of them.
Yes, ma'am.
It says also an estimate that 1 in 7 women has experienced some type of physical or sexual violence from an intimate partner or even their husbands. You know, we as women and girls, we have a lot against us. Women and girls are the most violated people in this world. More crimes are created against a woman and a girl than anything, any other type of crime. Any other type of crime. Women and girls suffer the most. But we have to know what to do and where we can go to in order to get help before it gets this bad. Now, let me tell you, sometimes there's not a timetable that you can say from this point to that point, you need to be scared, because it only takes one time for them to get so angry that they pull out a weapon and it's a done deal.
Right.
And right now, I say that COVID is a pandemic, but COVID has created a pandemic on top of a pandemic, on top of a pandemic, on top of a pandemic, because We have never seen so many women being killed by guns lately than any other crime.
Yes.
And, you know, I think about it and I say, why are so many women being killed now by guns? You know, before we knew that guns were the use of the crime, that usually when women or girls were murdered. But right now in domestic violence situation, it's at an all-time high.
Right.
You know, they know that women who are in violent situations, they can't go to a shelter because of COVID has probably shut that shelter down.
Right.
So it's like they think they can take God's will in their hands.
Right.
And we need to know we cannot do this. I talk to so many women about, if you have family and friends, that you can make sure that you slowly creep out of this and have a plan. You can't just leave. You got to have a plan, and it has to be a solid plan. And the first solidification of that plan is that you don't tell anyone except the person or the counselor or the organization that's helping you to leave.
Right.
And you make that move, and then you make your family aware of where you are.
Right.
Because just like she came to your house, it could have been a whole lot worse. It could have been you. It could have been your other children in there. You know, God have mercy on all of us who have someone who is a victim of domestic violence.
Yes, Lord.
Because the people who are coming after them, they're senseless, they're heartless, they're gutless.
They are.
So, you know, we really have to make sure that we maybe send them somewhere that the person does not know, so that no other family members can be victims of it. But you never know when that is. So it's a time bomb. When you see different starts in a relationship that I talk to women about all the time, that he says, oh, you going out with your girlfriends, call me when you get home. No, I'm not going to promise I'm going to do that. Right. Those are subtle moves of control where a relationship starts.
Right.
So, you know, they'll say, oh, you're going out, or I'm going to talk to my mom and sit and have lunch with her. Well, why you can't have lunch with me? Well, my mom and I already had this plan. So make a date. Me and you'll have lunch another time. Never change your plans for a man that doesn't understand that you need to have your family time.
Right.
And when a man say, no, I don't like to be around your family, you can go by yourself, I'm not going. Another red flag. These things occur early within the relationship, because mothers and fathers, when they see someone come in with their son or their daughter, they have this thing called a sixth sense, that they know if that person is good for you or not for you. And I'm sure you shaking your head as a mother, like you knew he was not good for your daughter.
I knew it.
So did you tell her, or when did you start feeling like he was not good for her?
Right when I first met him, because he was just kind of standoffish. He wouldn't really talk to us. He only wanted to talk to her. He would come in, he wouldn't speak.
Oh, that's another red flag. I mean, my dad used to, like, oh goodness, my mom used to, like, okay, you know what you're not gonna do is come in my house and not speak.
And I used to always ask, but why did he speak when he came in here? Mm-hmm. And he that crazy, like, oh hey, like he didn't notice what was going on. And after a while, Jasmine became pregnant. And it really started coming out. He didn't want anybody around Jasmine and the baby. Started calling Jasmine names.
Mm.
Sometimes I tell Jasmine he couldn't come there, and he'd tell her he was going to take his baby from her, and I would tell her he can't do that. It just got worse and worse through the years. I buy the children clothes. He throw them away. Say he didn't need me to help with his kids, my grandkids. He hated the way I loved my kids. He hated it. He always told Jazz, "Oh, you always run into your mama doing this. You always run into your sisters doing this." And when we come to their house, Jasmine would try to invite us over to eat. He didn't want us to come over there. He was controlling her. I cannot believe I let this man in my family.
Don't do that to yourself, Otisha. That is not you. These people are foxes in a hen house. They see your daughter, they court them, they isolate them, they try to play mind games with them, they try to pull the love strings with them. Do not, and I repeat, do not say that it was something that you did. Because one thing with victims of domestic violence, they are the ones that have to make the decision to leave or not leave. So many times that you told her about different situations, don't blame yourself about that. This all belongs on him. He was the monster who played with her mind, who played with her heart, and who killed her. That had nothing to do with you leading up to this. What does, one thing that I always ask of, did y'all ever meet his family?
I did. I met his mom and his dad. His mom was the exact replica of him. I mean, they act totally the same. So I saw where he got it from. His dad wasn't like that. He was an easygoing guy. Neither one of them have reached out to me about.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Have they reached out to you? Have they offered to do anything for the kids or anything like that?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. The son, Tyrone's brother, he'll text me, ask me how the kids are doing and can he get them? And I tell him, no, it's too early for this. I can't. I gotta get myself back right emotionally before I let
them go with anybody. Yeah, right. Yeah. Are you getting counseling, Otisha?
I am. We started counseling last Monday.
Okay.
The kids go to play therapy.
Yes.
And we're going to see how that goes. Because they were there. They were there when their moms were killed.
Yes, Lord.
Yesterday, I got the autopsies back, and I also I requested the photos from the crime scene because I wanted to see what my grandkids saw and what's in their head.
Okay.
And I saw it. And I cannot believe that picture is in my grandbaby's head. They're only 4 and 3 years old.
Jesus.
And that's why they cry and holler and scream all night. They don't understand.
I have a friend that does therapy, and she has some therapy dolls. And I'm going to work on getting a therapy doll for them. She does different things. She has some that if you have the mother's voice, on a voicemail or something, she puts a little recording in the doll that they can pull and say, "Hey, mommy," or "Hi, baby," or something like that with the mother's voice. I'm going to see if I can get one, if I can't even get the one with the talking of the mother that she puts into the dolls. That has got to be something that those kids would see forever. And if, God forbid, if they ran up to their mother after they fell, because he left the scene right after that. So they were just there and the kids were standing there yelling. And I don't know the details if they ran over to their mothers laying there or not.
And they said when she pulled up, they was just standing there looking at their mama. She said she had to beg them to come to her, like, "Come on, it's okay." And they would look at her and then look at their mama and then look at Mimi.
Oh, Lord. It's statistical says that there are 40% of women who experience violence in a relationship and they don't tell anyone the first few times that it occurs.
Yes.
In majority of the countries where available data is issued among women who seek help from family members and friends, very few will tell their friend that they're being abused because either they like the person a lot, the family members do, or the person has a higher standards, such as a police officer, or they may be a city council, or they may be someone that is with authority in the community.
Right.
And they feel like nobody would believe them. And the suspect have told them that several times. No one will ever believe you that I hit you. And they continue to use that over the person. So, you know, we sit here and we talk about domestic violence so much. Still yet today, there are women who are being abused on a daily that has not told anyone. And with the COVID pandemic here, a lot of women fear they have nowhere else to go.
Right.
That is not true. There are secret shelters that are being made right now as we speak. I talked to a girl just the other day. You know, a lot of people were saying, "Have you seen this girl?" She said that the police won't do anything to protect her. I've heard that a lot of times too, that law enforcement is called and they do not do anything to protect. Still call, ladies. Call law enforcement, get them there. That is a case number that you need in order to build your case of abuse.
Right.
So I say it over and over again, you have to call in order to report any kind of violence. Don't think just because they hit you and they say, "Baby, I'm sorry, you made me do that. I was so upset and I did this and that," and then they go and buy you something or they take you out to dinner.
Right.
That's not the end of it, ladies.
Right.
It is not the end.
Right.
You have to know how to protect yourself.
Right.
There are secret ways that I do not advertise about how to protect yourself, but each domestic violence victim that I visit, I give them a plan.
Right.
I give them a way.
Right.
I help them strategically do things in order to save their lives.
Right. Right.
So we have something here in the state of South Carolina that for years and years, we were number one for domestic violence. Now they say we're number 5. Now this year we came up to number 4. But yet I keep hearing from women that law enforcement are not taking their reports of domestic violence.
Right.
Women when you call law enforcement and they refuse to take a report, you need to call again to dispatch. You need to get a case number and you need to report that officer.
Right, right.
Because if you're being abused and you said that you are, regardless of what happened, if you're being abused, you need to report it. And women, vice versa. You just cannot go out there and put your hands on people. Because there are men being abused also and killed because of violence or because they decide to leave a relationship.
Right.
It says in 2019, 1 in 5 women between the ages of 20 to 35 were married at the age of 18 that had a lot of domestic violence. That's another thing. Babies having babies. If someone has sexually assaulted you, this is happening at another alarming rate with domestic violence. It is like over and over again, we hear about a girl that's missing and domestic violence is in the house and the mother disregard the children because of her pain. We can help both. And that's why I say, Otisha, we are going to make sure that we help your grandchildren, help you to take care, to be able to take care of your grandchildren. We have partnerships. I have partnerships and resources that I'm going to send your way if you are open to it. If you're not ready, I'm not going to force you, but I really think that you need to talk to someone that can really just help you to just let it all out, because I feel some blame that you're taking on that's not yours. I feel some anger, of course, that you're holding on to that's not yours. And we as a community want to gather around you and support you all throughout this. But I want you to be ready, and I want you to know, to see yourself. Take time after this video or any other video that you've seen, and when you're ready to get the necessary help that you need, I have the resources that are waiting for you. Because you got 3 little beautiful faces that is depending on you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can't take care of them if you're not well.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever you're ready, you let me know, because I know you need it. But I'm going to go on your accord. People, you need to know there's a domestic violence hotline. Even if you call law enforcement and they will not help you, you can call the domestic violence hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233 to get help. When you call law enforcement and they will not help you, someone on that line will help you and send resources to you in order for you to get out of that domestic violence relationship. Domestic violence is at an all-time high. It is at an all-time high because women, girls, men don't think there's anyone out there to help. There is. Please seek help. You're not in this alone, and we can help. Otisha, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you and your whole family, because this monster came in and changed the footprint in your family's life. He can change the footprint, but what he did for evil, you can turn it around for something good. I thank you. I've seen you get out on Saturdays and try to enlighten other people who may be going through domestic violence. telling them to get out and telling them that there's a way out, but they have to see it themselves. The red flags are there. The friends and family see it. Friends and family, stop being a yes person.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it again. Stop being a yes person. What does that mean, Investigator Cleveland? It means regardless if the person is being abused, you shouting at them, telling them, you better leave, you better get yourself together, you got kids. That is not the way to do it. The way you do it is that you need to tell them, I love you. You're worth more than this. This daughter, your daughter looks just like you. She wants to see you when she gets big. She wants to see you doing something to protect her. So whenever you're ready, I'm here. If he beats you up in the middle of the night, I'm here. You have to be supportive in a way that you tell them how important they are in your life, instead of putting the emphasis on the person who's beating them up. That sinks into their head. They'll start hearing it when they're crying, and they know that there's one person that they're going to call that can support them. And it will be you, that friend who said, I love you, to see something happen to you. I love you too much for you to be going through this. You're too good to be going through this. You are special to me. Those are words that you can use in order to help a person who you love that may be experiencing domestic violence. Otisha, is there anything else that you would like to say to the public before we leave?
I just want to thank everybody for their continuous prayers. I'm going to need them for the days, the months, the years to come. Just for the outpour of helping me with my grandchildren. I want to thank my cousin Brooke Logan, Brooke the coach, and her sister Raven for putting this together. This is like an outlet for me to vent. They also have a 1-800 vent line. It's not a therapist line or anything. It's just a line you can call just to vent about what you're going through.
And that is important. That's very important. Sometimes you don't need anyone to say anything. You just need to vent about what is going on. That is really great. Give us that number.
Thank you. It's going to be 1-800-975-6273. That's 1-800-975-6273. And that's our event hotline to the Jaime and Jazzmyne organization.
And do you have a nonprofit organization in the name of Jaime and Jazzmyne?
Yes, ma'am. The Jaime and Jazzmyne organization.
Okay. You have a website?
It's not finished yet.
Okay.
There's so much stuff to add on there. We haven't finished it yet.
Okay. Well, we'll be looking to have that, and we'll put that in the video whenever you get it ready. We'll be able to put it in at any time. But Otisha, I would like to thank you and Brooke for allowing you to come and talk to me and get this done. I can help you in any way. Help you with the website to get the organization together, and to do anything in their honor for their children. Just please let me know. I am here. I'm here for any resources that you may need. I have them. So whenever you feel the need and you get to, you feel like you're ready to get the resources that I have, please reach out to me. I am here for you and your family.
Thank you. And I thank you for having me on. And I just want to continuously spread the word about criminal domestic violence. It took my daughters from this world. And I just I just can't just stand here and let it happen again. I have to do something.
Well, you are doing something every time you post a video and you let people know. I'm sure that there was someone who stepped away from it because they heard your cry of losing your daughters. I thank you again so much.
Thank you. And also I would like for everybody to go and we have a page on Facebook, the Jaime and Jazzmyne organization page. That's also a way of being on their page also.
Okay, Jaime and Jasmine on Facebook.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am,
I'll put that.
Organization.
Okay, I'll put that on our link as well so that they can go there. I'll find that on Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you.